Welcome, investors. While some companies are thriving in the current economic climate, another critical reality is taking hold. Tariffs are taking a significant toll on a vast array of businesses. As of mid-2025, these import taxes are reshaping markets, leading to higher costs, disrupted supply chains, and shrinking profits for many. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on over 35 companies feeling the intense squeeze. Understanding these risks is crucial for navigating your investments. Let's dive in. First, the automotive manufacturers reliant on imported parts and foreign assembly are facing severe turbulence. New 25% tariffs on imported vehicles and components have become a major cost burden. Companies like Honda, Motor Company, are forecasting steep earnings plunges, directly citing U.S. tariff headwinds. Stellantis NV has seen lower revenues and even idled plants in Mexico and Canada as a direct result of these tariffs. Other heavily impacted foreign auto giants include Volkswagen, Toyota Motor Corporation, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz Group AG. Even popular brands like Buick, Hyundai, Kia, Mazda, Lexus, Subaru, Chevrolet, and Nissan are seeing significant projected price increases due to their import reliance. The clean energy transition, while vital, is hitting a tariff-induced roadblock. New reciprocal tariffs are dramatically increasing the cost of imported solar panels, inverters, and battery systems. This inflates project costs and erodes margins for key players like SolarEdge Technologies, Inc., which has faced massive gross margin pressures. Sunrun Inc., a major residential installer, is absorbing higher equipment costs directly impacting profitability. Even Enphase Energy, a leading microinverter and battery storage provider, feels the squeeze from rising component costs. And while First Solar has domestic production advantages, the overall higher cost of system components can still impact their project development arms or create demand challenges for their customers. Beyond autos, the broader manufacturing sector is grappling with increased input costs for various imported raw materials and components, which don't always benefit from specific exemptions. Diversified industrials like Stanley Black, Decker, Inc., and appliance giant Whirlpool Corporation are facing higher production costs. Companies like Carrier Global Corporation and Trane Technologies plc, with their global HVAC supply chains, and industrial giants like Illinois Toolworks Inc., also feel the strain. Even foreign-based industrial firms with U.S. sales, like Danfoss AS and German chemical giant BASF SE, are reporting weakened outlooks due to the broader global economic slowdown caused by these trade barriers. Our agricultural sector remains a primary target for retaliatory tariffs, particularly from major export markets. This translates directly into reduced revenues and volatile commodity prices for U.S. agribusiness. Global agribusiness powerhouses like Archer Daniels Midland Company and Bunge Global SA have reported weaker profits, explicitly citing trade uncertainties. Smaller crop handlers, like the Andersons, Inc., are also under pressure. The meat industry, represented by Tyson Foods, Inc., faces retaliatory tariffs on exports. Even agricultural chemical suppliers like Corteva, Inc., can see reduced demand if farmers' profitability declines. For consumers, tariffs often mean higher prices, as retailers operating on thin margins are forced to pass on increased import costs. This impacts everything from shoes to electronics. Nike, Inc. anticipates a staggering $1 billion in additional tariff costs, leading them to consider surgical price increases. Apparel retailers like Gap Inc., PVH Corp., owners of Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger, Levi Strauss & Co. and Columbia Sportswear Company are battling rising import duties on their clothing and footwear, with some apparel tariffs as high as 46%. Electronics giant Best Buy Company Incorporated faces similar challenges with imported electronics. Even diversified retailers like Target Corporation and Walmart Inc., despite their scale, contend with managing these escalating import costs. For discount retailers like Dollar General Corporation and Dollar Tree Inc., maintaining their low price points becomes incredibly difficult, and consumer brands like Helen of Troy Limited, parent of OXO and Hydro Flask, have seen significant revenue drops directly attributed to tariffs. Smaller players in the furniture sector like Stanley Furniture Company, Inc., and component suppliers like Leggett and Platt are also feeling the demand pinch. Even your pantry isn't safe. Tariffs on specific imported ingredients or retaliatory tariffs on U.S. food exports can squeeze margins and even reduce global demand for American culinary staples. The Campbell's Soup Company has already warned that tariffs could impact their earnings. Distillers like Brown-Forman Corporation, makers of Jack Daniels, are concerned about retaliatory tariffs on American whiskey exports. Global snack companies like Mondelez International, Inc., and Hershey Co. could face rising costs for key imported ingredients. Even beverage companies like Keurig Dr. Pepper Inc. might see impacts on imported components or packaging. Finally, the healthcare sector is not immune. New tariffs on imported active pharmaceutical ingredients, or APIs, and even medical devices are increasing costs for essential drugs and equipment. Companies like Boston Scientific Corporation are bracing for hundreds of millions in additional costs due to tariffs on imported medical devices. Major generic drug producers, such as Teva Pharmaceutical Industries Limited and Viatris Inc., heavily reliant on globally sourced APIs, face significant cost pressures that could ultimately affect drug prices and availability. The current tariff environment presents substantial headwinds for a diverse range of companies. From global manufacturing to everyday consumer goods, the impact of increased import costs and retaliatory measures is undeniable. Investors must carefully evaluate a company's reliance on global supply chains, export markets, and sensitivity to price increases when considering these sectors. Understanding these vulnerabilities is just as critical as identifying opportunities in today's complex market. Stay informed and invest cautiously.